Yo, yo, yo!
Hello.
Hello. Hello, everybody. Welcome to round 2, Saturday at the South Coast GT 2016. As always, Dan and Wayne are here. Unfortunately for you, to walk you around the hall and just see what we've got going on.
Faces for radio.
Faces for radio, yeah. There's a few people around that we want to have a chat to all the way through. We'll just get you an idea really of what's going on and what's been happening. Table 1's an interesting game this today, and we're going to go and walk there sort of about now, really. So let's go and have a quick look. So Wayne, what's been your highlights of the day so far?
One of our club members, Zach, who's been two-turning most of his opponents down the club, has just got smashed off the table, which I found really funny.
It was pretty hilarious. Yeah. So he's been using a sort of a monster mash list of Seraphim, hasn't he?
Just loads of stegodons, slang, raising. Yeah, it's just horrible. You know the list better than me.
Yeah, it's like I think it's a Thunderstrike battalion where it's got loads of Thunder Beast battalion where it's got loads of different things on, and it heals itself and all this kind of stuff. Yeah. But he has had 20-minute games down the club, but today he just got beat up by Nagash. So it's great.
He got owned. Revenge is sweet. Yeah.
So anyway, we were walking to table 1, so let's have a look. So this one we were streaming, so we've been testing the streaming today. We need a better sort of setup really to do it, but we wanted to give you guys a little look at this board because it's fantastic. So Steve's army's pretty fiend. We'll probably have a chat with him as we're going. But you can see he's got a desert mat on the board, desert terrain, massive scratch-built boat in the corner that all fits the theme of his army. Yep. Which we won't grab him now because he's playing. But
and the unit which he transports the army in is behind us. Yeah. Well, behind the
cameraman.
Yeah. Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah.
Anyone who's seen the Indiana Jones films will recognise that. Awesome theme. As always, though, Steve won our coolest army last year, and obviously he's upped his game this year, so he's definitely in with a shout.
Yeah.
And I think he's a bit shocked because Steve's known as a hobby gamer and he's on table 1 at the moment. So
albeit round 2, but it all counts.
But no one's more surprised than him.
No. So that's good, but we'll probably grab him later to have a look. So there's been some interesting games here. One of the things I've been really impressed with actually is the level of terrain. So we mentioned the terrain in the last game. It still seems to be very consistent in terms of what people are bringing, which is nice. I want to have a dip down here and just speak to a guy. So you might have noticed some of the guys, a lot of them wear different club attire. I mean, we're wearing our podcast t-shirts, but we've got lots of people wearing different stuff. And you can see there's guys with hashtag only the faithful t-shirt. Now, long-term listeners of the podcast or anything I've been involved with in Twitter and social media will know that it's one of my things that is hashtagging only the faithful. It's from a Games Workshop book by Josh Reynolds, so it's very popular, and a lot of people took that on board as almost a mantra for how they feel about AOS.
Yeah, I think Ben Curry bought a box full of them in, didn't he? And he's been sort of dishing them out. So
I'll be interested.
There's a lot of love for it.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see what Steve thinks. Let's have a word with Steve. If you can just nab in here and grab him. Steve, can I borrow you for a sec?
Steve, how's the game going? Going well for Ian.
Have you just taken him off?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Steve's doing that like, I'm really sorry, mate.
Yeah. So that's not a bad model to have conveniently in your hands while we're talking, is it? So how's he been performing old Archaon?
He's been terrible.
Yeah. Any stories of how he died?
Spectacular. Bad. No, he's been awful.
That's all you've got to say.
He's done nothing.
He's rubbish, isn't he?
Done nothing.
Have you not read his War Scroll? Do you not know how to use him?
Yeah, but the Glockin walked up, vomited 12 wounds off me in the first round.
All right.
And then the War Shrine took a load of wounds off him. It weren't good.
Have you not got a wizard casting Mystic Shield on him?
He cast Mr. Shield himself.
Oh, okay then.
It's not made very much difference.
No, hasn't it?
No, not at all.
That does sound sad. How did he die in this game then? Is this... It's the Glockin.
Yeah, Glockin killed him in And last round he got killed. Temple Guard. On a Basilica.
Very nice. No, I can imagine. Well, I mean, I don't know if we can get a close-up of this while we're here, but this is Steve's Archaon, which is a very different scheme to the kind of stuff you'd see normally. So how did you go about doing this?
It was mostly airbrushed, so the whole body was airbrushed, wings were airbrushed, and then everything else, heads, stuff like that, just picked out and line highlighted. Fairly similar scheme to the one on the GW website, actually, the Duncan Reds video. So it was good. It took a bit of time, but I think it was worth it. I was really pleased with how it came out. So.
Yeah, it has come out lovely. We'll grab some photos of this later, and I think we already featured some of Ian's army on different photos over the weekend on the other social media, because that's a cracking looking army as well. So it's been good. So finally, then, before you get back to your game, only the faithful T-shirt. What's all that about?
Yeah, you want to speak to Ben Curry about that?
Right. Yeah. But you dipped in for one though.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Good. We like to see the AOS support, so that's good. We'll leave you to it, but cheers. So, okay, well, there's a good game.
That's a very good looking game there, because that's two of the best two of the kind of best, or definitely nominees for best painted armies here.
Yeah.
And Ian Gilmore's army's superb. When you look at it close up, it's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm sure we'd actually. I'm pretty sure that's getting a nomination, is it?
Yes.
Yeah, we've been looking at some for nominations, but that'll be on there.
We've done most of the scoring already.
Yeah.
And I think there's about 15 armies so far for nominations. So
brilliant.
Yeah, it's a good field.
Good.
So.
Yeah, there's been a lot. So, what's been your favourite stuff you've seen so far, army-wise, then, hobby boy?
I really like Ben Johnson's Dragon Army.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that. I think it's just painting a big model, going through that process, and making it the standard of it that high, but then doing it 5 times. You know, there's not many people who can do that, I don't think.
No.
I mean, they are all exactly the same in standard. Yeah, I think it's a really cool army. I like Ian Gilmore's army because when you look at all the conversions for the Beastmen, Nurgle Beastmen, all the green stuff in, yeah, really, really nice. Yeah. They're probably my favourite 2 at the moment. There's probably some technically better painted armies here, but I prefer armies that do both, well painted and interesting, and all the extra work. So.
Cool.
What about you?
For me, I think at the moment, I don't know. I've got a bit of a soft spot for the Stormcast at the moment, so there's a few of them there. I mean, you mentioned Ben Johnson's army. I'm sure we've seen this on camera, and viewers can also see that on our Facebook and our Twitter and our Instagram, which we'll link in probably about now at the bottom. And you can see the shots. But yeah, multiple Star Drake one looks good, but he's got a really striking scheme, hasn't he? With like a green and an interesting colour on the army. There's another brilliant Zaki, I think, has got a great Stormcast army with the lava basin. So again, viewers might have seen this before, but I think it was Duncan Rhodes actually on Games Workshop's YouTube channel did over Christmas an Advent video that showed lava effect, and I played a lot around with that. We talked about it on the show, didn't we? And that's all been done with
crackling paint.
Yeah, cracked lava, beautiful looking armour with sort of damage on it and everything. That's cool. So there, both those I quite like. But I'm also a big fan of the classics. So you've seen there's a lot of classic dwarf armies here. I've seen 3. Yeah. They're all sort of 5th edition metals. Look fantastic on round bases. They were sort of moaning at me for making them do it on round bases, but they've all said, it looks good though, doesn't it? Yeah. So.
Ben Curry's army's nice as well.
Yeah, we should mention that. So I'm sure actually we'll have a walk in a second, see if we can grab him just briefly on the mic if he's not too into his game.
You don't see many Chaos Dwarf armies, and it's all Forge World.
Yeah, so you don't see, especially as a tournament player, you don't see many Forge World complete Games Workshop armies, and Ben has actually got a whole one. So we'll see if we can.
We'll come around this way.
Yeah, come around this way and we'll have a look at it. So it's easier to see. So let's have a look. Butchers. So it looks like quite a pretty game at the moment as well, which is quite nice, because it's 2 Soul Grinders down there, I would imagine. Is that 2 Soul Grinders, Rob?
It is 2 Soul Grinders.
Yeah. 2 Plague Priests, so quite shooty. And then this whole field full of Chaos Dwarfs or Legion of Asgaroth, is that what they're called these days?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. You excuse our pronunciation. Just in time for the camera as well, there you go. And what's that you got hanging around your neck then, Ben? It's a Games Workshop combat gauge. Yeah, in the t-shirt. There you go. Only the faithful,
Absolutely.
That's right. So yeah, but no, beautiful army, and that looks like a bit of a cracking game at the moment on there. So be interested to see how that one finishes up when we see the results. But yeah, there's a ton of games. We've got goblins here, classic goblin army. Just loads of bodies on the ground, which is looking good. Actually, looks like it's doing pretty well as well. Looking at that. There's not too many lizard men left. It looks like it's dead. Is that Slan dead, maybe? Yeah, let's find out. Let's find out. Let's have a quick look. So is the Slan dead? Oh, he's just chilling. He's just chilling. Yeah. Is that his friend, the Ashtaroth bearer, as well? Is it? Yeah. I like it. Good. Yeah, it still looks pretty tight then, that actually. Yeah, tighter than it first looked.
Night Goblins are pretty good, aren't they?
Yeah.
With the combos, everything.
So yeah, I'm just looking around. I mean, I think we talked about this one here. So the game's actually shut up at the moment, nicely stacked on the tray. But this was Nagash versus the game we were talking about at the beginning, the Thunder Beast.
Yeah, Zach Gregory's. Yeah, he's been 2-turning loads of players down the club.
Yeah.
So to see it done to him was justice.
Yeah. I'm sure he said, I'm still going to win the next 5, but we'll find out.
Try.
But it was a good game. So tons of good stuff going around. There's almost too many games to show. But I don't know if we can get a pan of this table actually. So because there's a lot of new Games Workshop terrain on this one, but you've got. So a lot of the tournament's based around round gates. So most people have gone and bought the GW kit. There's some great converted ones. But you've got these Dragon Fate dices, the stairs, some of the old stuff as well mixed in. And it just looks fantastic. Really good striking board. And I've been talking to a lot of people about how they did them, but most of them are just 3 layers of dry brush with the various Games Workshop paints mixed in with some cool things like this. But this is Blood for the Blood God, this stuff. Yeah, Blood for the Blood God mixed in at the top. bit of metal on these, it just brings it all out and it looks fantastic. Nice bit of bass in. So yeah, and that's bit, you can see that pretty much around most of the tables. So it's been good, hasn't it?
Yeah, the terrain's been really consistent. Last year, well, not just last year, but previous years, we've had a massive scale in scenery, but people just not really being that bothered about it and just bringing sort of basic stuff. But I think just because it lends itself to the game, everyone's put a little bit more effort in, and it's really shown that even what you would say the tables that aren't that great are still better than the ones we had last year. So it's good. Yeah, there's you can see the progression.
Yeah, and so round two's coming to a bit of a close now. We're really starting to see how the tournament's panning out on day one in terms of who's going to be winning. So I think there's the guys, you'll see them in the orange shirts, so a pretty competitive club at the moment, from up north, as we like to describe it, and they're all smashing on wins. The table we've just talked about that beat Zach was one of these guys. I don't know what they're called these days. They used to be called the Marauders. I don't know what their official name is these days. But yeah, they're all doing well. So I would expect to see those guys kicking around the top tables in the next round. So that'd be interesting. But also we've got like a tiebreaker here. So it's win, loss, draw, and your tiebreaker is a hidden agenda, which is a secret mission. You both put a card that we've given at the beginning. There's 6 of them, 1 for each round. They're all unique. And you put them in the middle and say, that's my secret mission. And it's normally something like kill the other general, get a unit to a certain position, control more of a bit of terrain than somebody else, that kind of stuff. And there's you flip them over at the end and see if you've achieved it. So you sort of guesswork as to whether you'll stop your opponent getting his. And that tiebreaker has been very interesting to see people coming in, because it's going to be so important. At 135 odd players, there's going to be a lot of people in the same wins. So that's going to be really tight.
And you can only use 1 per game. So obviously once you've burnt your card, that's it. It comes back to us, goes in the pile, and then the interesting thing is going to be how people manage all of their agenda cards through the game, what they're left with, and how it's going to maybe you're going to get tales where people at the end of the tournament are going to go, do you know what, I shouldn't have used that in the first game, I should have used it in the third game, and that kind of stuff, and whether it's going to make a difference or not. But it's a nice extra layer to the game to give them another decision to make. So
it's going to get tight because we've got people who are on. There's people on wins and max missions. There's people already I see missing the mission. And missing the mission when we did this a few years ago was a big deal, wasn't it?
Yeah,
when it came out of the final swing. So yeah, it will be cool. But yeah, I'm looking forward to walking around in round 3 and showing you some of the more powerful lists, because they start to find their way to the top. But there's certainly a few. And I think the key surprise of the tournament so far, as a lot of commentators, I suppose, were concerned, was the strength of the chaos lists. There was a lot of people who looked at order and thought, with all the options you've got, Stormcast Eternals and everything else, they're going to be dominating. But it seems to be I think the people you'll see on the top row near the end are the guys that are experienced gamers and playing Chaos at the moment. There's lots of Kairos, Lord of Change, plus various different kit, isn't there? Nagash, Death lists.
It should really get interesting at the start of the next round, third game. That's when it should get really, really, really interesting, because you're going to see all them big armies coming together, and then you're going to see with the better players. And then we're going to really see about who's actually up for this, who's got the best list, who's been playing the most, who's had the most practice, I think it's going to get interesting in the next round, definitely.
So I'm looking forward to showing you guys around it. So that's been round 2 so far. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. As always, you can check us out on our site, heelanhammer.com. All the the scenarios, those hidden agendas we were talking about at heelanhammer.com/SouthCoastGT. Probably a load of links at the bottom that's telling you about it now. And remember, for all the live sort of pictures and moments of the games, check us out on Twitter. So it's at heelanhammer and at Wayne Kemp 13. And of course, listen to the podcast afterwards for full coverage of all this kind of stuff. And like, subscribe, share, all that business. We'll see you in the next round. Spread the word. See you then.
Bye-bye.